What's going on, my breakthrough broker friends? Dr. Bruce back in the house as we go through another installment of the 90-Day Sales Breakthrough Broker podcast. Every single week, I like to come into your life with some kind of content that I believe will be relevant to you as a quote-unquote solopreneur. It falls solely on you to go out there and protect your confidence, to go out there and grow your sales, your service, your marketing, and all of this is a mindset. And in this installment, I want to help you focus on objection handling 101, right? There are common 3 to 5 objections that all salespeople get. And for you as a real estate agent, it is not different. What's going on, my friends? Today I want to talk about overcoming objections. And I start out by using that word overcoming because I have truly shifted my own mindset when it comes to that word overcoming. I actually call this handling objections, right? Because you're not going to always be able to overcome somebody's objection. However, you should always be able to handle the objections, right? Because every industry, whether you're in housing, banking, insurance, or financial services, you get the same 3 common objections in your industries, right? And so these are objections that you're consistently hearing at all times. Now, the way that I hear these objections, I actually celebrate these. I know this sounds crazy, but it means that I'm doing what I should be doing as a sales professional, as a business owner. I'm out there having the conversations that I should be having. And I'm out there having, hopefully, an influence on other people's buying decisions. And when it comes to this, then I call that like a performance moment, right? Every conversation when it comes to objections is really, these are performance moments, right? People are going to push back. They're going to challenge you. And you have to be able or willing or confident to challenge them right back. And the way that I think about this is, if you've ever been in a roller coaster before, what's the first thing that you do when you strap in the harness? You shake it, you test it, right? And so that's how I think about these objections. When other people give me an objection, like, they're just testing me, right? They're making sure that I'm talking to them for the right reasons, right? I'm giving them good sound advice. And so that's the mindset I want all of you to be in. Whenever you get an objection, it's like, okay, how can I handle this 1, 2, 3 objections that I consistently get on a daily or weekly or monthly basis, okay? Now, I call this my fight club. Whenever I've had that first meeting with somebody, they fit my filter as somebody I want to do business with, right? Because I want you all to see yourself as a person of influence where you get to pick and choose who you want to do business with. So number 1, they fit your filter. Okay. Number 2 is they're a motivated buyer, meaning they're going to send business to somebody. They're going to do business with somebody at some point over the next 3 to 6 months. And then the third part of this is you have to have a deep conviction that you're just as good, if not better than anybody else out there. Okay. When you answer yes to all 3 of those, then you should have a strong confidence to put that person in your fight club where you're fighting to earn the business. It is your duty, your obligation to fight to earn the business. Okay, so now we've got over the mindset part of it. Let's actually give you some different strategies and tactics when it comes to handling objections, right? When it comes to these top 3 to 5 objections that I consistently get and the people that I coach consistently get, okay? Number 1 is, a lot of times it does simply come down to rates, right? I coach people in commoditized industries. A commodity is simply a good or a service that is of value, that is needed, but it becomes so saturated that the consumer and other people think they can get it from anybody. Therefore, they primarily compete on price. All right. So most of you are dealing with, what are your prices? What are your rates? Right. So I always shift from money or rates or price into investment. Right. I'm not going to be the cheapest, but I'm not going to be the most expensive. I don't like to reduce my rates. I like to increase the value. You almost always get what you pay for. And so that's the mindset I want all of you to be in, right? Because when you say I'm the cheapest, I'm the lowest rates, I'm willing to discount my services, you're doing a disservice to yourself, but you're also going to start attracting the wrong types of clients to you. You're going to attract the high maintenance people out there, okay? So number 1 is shift from money or rates or price into, yes, this is an investment. I'm very competitive when it comes to, if all things are equal, I'm very competitive against the people that I am competing against, right? And so that's the mindset I want you to shift to when it comes to price or money, is you have to increase the value, right? If I can do this for you and this for you, would that work? Okay. So that's the mindset I want all of you to have, is is you have something incredibly valuable to offer other people. You just have to have that conviction that you're not allowed to reduce your prices when it comes to that, okay? Number 2 is the timing, right? Like timing to me, I try to shift from timing, is the timing right? Like people are trying to game the market, whatever that might be. And so my whole thought process around timing is the timing is never going to be perfect, right? And so I shift into momentum. We can have this conversation now and start to take momentum towards the solution to your problem, right? Money changes hands when problems are solved. The more problems you can solve, the more money you're going to make. I'm talking to you as a salesperson, okay? So when you're talking to the consumer or a referral partner, I always shift from the timing into momentum. So we can have this conversation now or 3 months from now or 6 months from now. Let's start to work towards that solution, right? Because the timing is never going to be perfect. If we can help you get, maybe 7 out of 10 things on your list of must-haves versus nice-to-haves, would that be something that's interested or that you'd be interested in doing, okay? So I always shift to momentum when it comes to trying to game the market. Now, of course, guys, remember this. When it comes to handling objections, is people want to do business with those they know, like, trust, and respect. And so as long as you are educating that other person, as long as you're saying, listen, if I were in your situation, I would do the same thing, right? As long as you're telling them we're on the same team, my success is tied to your success, right? I'm building a long-term referral business. Is you definitely have to build that trust and respect on the front end in order for you to educate other people on the back end. So that's another big talking point or mindset thing for you, all right? Number 3 is, hey, I'm just shopping. I'm just looking around right now, right? Like I'm shopping the competition. And so this is where I would just coach you, listen, if somebody's shopping, that's completely fine. In today's world, almost everybody shops because of the internet that we have. All right. You came across their desk or into their lives for a reason. I do believe people use the first person they talk to 67% of the time when it comes to consumer behavior. So if you are that very first conversation, you have to have confidence to challenge them, to push them a little bit, right? To get them to take some type of action. But when they're talking about, hey, I'm just shopping, I'm looking at this person and this person, I'm also looking at you, I truly believe that you don't have to tear other people down to build yourself up. And again, and if anything else, that shows that you maybe are insecure about your services, all right? So when somebody tells me, hey, I'm looking at this person or this person, I always build those other people up, assuming that they are good at what they do, right? Hey, those people, they do this, this, and this really well. We do that just as well. But there's really 1 or 2 areas that I believe that we're world-class at. And then you can tell them that, I'm going to help you go get this, this, and this. So I call that the Benjamin Franklin approach to selling, right? Is again, like you can find a positive, you can sell a positive over a negative. So for instance, if you're brand new in the market, like what does that mean? Yeah, maybe I'm not as experienced. However, I give you my utmost attention. I'm going to be with you day and night, right? Like if you don't have a team of people around you, if you're a solopreneur, which is what we coach, then you can compete on that. Like, listen, I'm the person that you're going to be talking to. You're getting Coach Bruce the whole time, not Coach Bryce or somebody else, right? So that's one way that I always compete is you get direct access to me, where a lot of these coaching programs is you don't get direct access to the person that created it and weekly live access and stuff like that. So for you and your business, it's the same thing. Like you can turn any negative into a positive and any positive into a negative when you look at it that way. But do not tear other people down to build yourself up, okay? As a former college athlete, former pitcher, I used to always think like in order for me to win, somebody else had to lose. And I've really had to learn along the way and think of in terms of abundance. Remember, you're in this for the long term. This is your vocation, your voice, your calling. This is your career. So don't just try to win every one deal. Like I learned this early on. If you fight to win every battle, you're guaranteed to lose the war. So when you're nickel and diming and you're dropping your rates and you're saying whatever it is and you're desperate, like other people can tell that. And yeah, sure, you might win some of those things early on, but you're not going to set yourself up for long-term success, all right? Now, I already have one. I already have somebody component, right? So again, assuming that there's contracts involved and this is legal depending on the industry that you're in, the whole objection of I already have somebody, isn't it always nice to have a second opinion, right? So I always go that route. If I'm going to go in and have knee surgery or something like that tomorrow, I might, if I don't have a doctor that I completely trust with my life, with the longevity of me, then I'm going to go get a second opinion, right? So that's kind of where I lean on, hey, it never hurts to get a free second opinion from somebody to make sure that they are telling you the things that they should be telling you and educating you, right? Now, if that person, and this is where I go into handling versus overcoming, if that person's been using somebody for 15 or 20 years, they've been at their wedding, right? Like they've seen their kids grow up, it is going to be almost impossible for you to overcome that. So the mindset for me is when they already have somebody, and again, a lot of times like that means, hey, it's good because it means that you're an active shopper or an active client. It means that you have business to send to other people. That's a good thing, right? You might be an investor or you're a top real estate producer or whatever it might be, right? If you're a title agent or a loan officer and you're going to that person, it's like, hey, listen, I love the fact that you already have your top 2-3 people. I love the fact that you have a lot of business to send them, right? So why do you enjoy working with the people that you're currently working with? Just so I can get better at my own self, as I continue to grow my career. Maybe what are 1 or 2 things that they could do better if you had to talk to them about that and have a tough conversation? Okay, cool. So that kind of opens the door into maybe some niche products and services that you can offer that other people don't offer, all right? Now, the final one, and I'll make this one quicker, is I'm not the decision maker, right? So when you're talking to a consumer or a potential referral partner, maybe there's somebody else who's actually the person that's, driving that relationship or that decision, right? Like maybe it's a spouse or a significant other, like, hey, I'm not the one that's actually in charge of making this decision, So I just think that's one of those, you need to have that conversation on the front end, right? Is anybody else involved in this decision-making process? So those are just some very common 3 to 5 objections. I don't care what industry that you're in, that you're consistently hearing and that I consistently hear and that I consistently coach on. Now listen, if you're in real estate, mortgage, title, insurance, financial, we have scripts for all these, right? So for our 90-day sales manager coaching program, we have 90 days of content. We have 2 different levels of accountability that you could choose from, but we have scripts that include all of these different things that we help people overcome. Because I truly believe everybody needs a coach in life. Trained people will always outperform untrained people. So if you are interested in coaching, please do reach out to me, Bruce at 90daysales.com. Go check out 90daysales.com. Maybe you're a manager or you're a title person, a mortgage person that maybe wants to bring a workshop like this in for your referral partners or for your team. Go to brucelund.com and learn more about bringing me in to speak to your next group of people. As always, go out there and continue to do the heavy lifting required to be successful. Thank you for tuning in.